All right, so welcome guys to another audio talk, and it's been a while since I did my last audio talk. I think maybe 6, 7 months ago, and this platform is for or series is for me to share, my experience with audio to you guys, in maybe a longer format style, not a YouTube, compressed style. So we're gonna talk about IEM earbuds versus clip-ons versus closed back versus open back. So it's my personal experience in using these things, and because I do collect several of them. So yeah, backstory: I started with closed backs headphones in my collection, and then went to open backs, and then went to clip-ons, and went to IEMs, and then went to earbuds. That's actually the chronological order of growing my collection. But I did start with closed back because I think I mentioned it to you guys before that I went into audio because I want to do some recording and some mixing and recording my own songs. So I started with closed back then because the popular ones that was marketed back then was the M50X, and but I did get the Shure SRH 840s. I consider that to be better for my usage back then. But before, yeah, M50Xs were the talk of the town, and I do have several friends with M50Xs, so they kind of influenced me in that sense. But yeah, I went with SRH 840s, and those are my first kind of serious headphones. And went with open backs after because yeah, I do like to that's my initial like entry in the closed back. But after that, I wanted to try other types of audio gear. I was interested in trying out new things. And open backs was the second one because it's interesting, like open back design. I haven't tried that before. So I actually went with the Grado SR60s. That's my second headphone. Went with clip-ons after. So yeah, I expanded my headphone collection. So yeah, because I do go to Japan, and I got my clip-ons from that. And after that, yeah, I started reviewing and not really reviewing first, but I started buying IEMs. My first ones was Shure's. I did get the 215s, if I remember correctly, and the 846 for recording, for monitoring. But after that, that was my gateway to get into IEMs, and now I do have more IEMs now than headphones, and earbuds after. So that's the last thing. I'm getting into earbuds as well. But I did use all of them, like I would say, substantially. Maybe not as much as other hobbyists here in the or enthusiasts here in the hobby, but I did try all of them, and with different usages as well, for casual listening, critical listening, for some recording, monitoring, and yeah, for work as well. So I did use several of them, and yeah, we're gonna talk about the difference between all of these. And yeah, as you guys can notice, this is a more casual, kind of a format. So yeah, bear with me if this is a different format compared to what I had before. I may even put this in a podcast. Now we're gonna see. So we're gonna talk about first usability on each of these gear. And yeah, before we continue, I wanted to do a longer format for this because it's very hard to talk about it in a short format. This is a long discussion. So this is a good first episode of our audio talk, the longer format audio talk. Usability. So usability, definitely there's a big difference between all of these because they do have different sizes. First of all, they do have different makeups. They do have different sound as well on the ear. So actually, if I'm gonna rate it first, usability in terms of the sizes. Usually for me, the open backs have the bigger sizes, and the next is closed back because now closed back is a little bit more portable. And yeah, usually for open backs, sometimes it comes with maybe an amplifier, like for example, Electrostats comes with your amplifier, so you have desktop setup. Closed backs is a little bit more portable, something that you can bring the M50Xs, the Audio Technicas, the MSR7s, your P7s, B&W. So yeah, closed back. And then after that, you have a more portable headphone, the clip-ons. It's a little bit smaller. It's in the middle of our size chart. And the next is earbuds and IEMs. They're similar in size. So yeah, the most portable is the IEMs for sure, or earbuds as well. So because of that, size difference, there's some difference in usability. So like for me personally, this is my personal sharing with you guys. Open bags, I use them a lot at home. It's not something that I usually bring outside, but it's very hard to use it outside because, or maybe even in the office, because yeah, using it outside, you can hear your people around you. I do work in coffee shops and also in the office as well. And in coffee shops, you don't want to hear other people because you're trying to concentrate in your sound. And for using it in the office as well, other people can hear what you are listening to. That was the case with my Grados SR60s back then. So it's not something that I usually use outside and even in the office because yeah, because of those two reasons. So for me, open bags, I usually use them at home. They're a home kind of thing for me. And yeah, I usually pair them with amplifiers, with bigger ones, and desktop amplifiers. So that's where I use them usually. Uh, one of the cons of open backs, of course, the usability kind of thing. Of course, you're getting an open sound. That's something that we will discuss in a few later, and that's definitely an advantage as well. But yeah, for usability first, open backs, I would say they have the least amount of usability factor because of the open design. But they are pretty comfortable. They're one of the most comfortable pairs that you can wear on the ear because it's an open back. Your ears won't be warmed up after some time. So there's some air going to your ear, and you like that, of course, if you're gonna listen to for a long, long, long listening session. There won't be much fatigue when you're listening to it in terms of the wear on the ear. So that's an advantage for open bags. Next, for closed bags. For me personally, closed bags, I use it at home and also on the go. So I do use closed bags when I am doing some critical listening as well. Actually, really versatile. So I can use this for some casual listening outside, some critical listening as well, and I'm even using it for some recording, mixing, and mastering. So it's very there's a lot of usability for closed backs for me. I do use M60Xs for some monitoring as well because they're quite small. It's an over ear design. They're quite small. It's portable as well, so you can bring it outside, and they're quite light as well. So it's very easy to use for some monitoring. For example, maybe the M40Xs. They're one of the more versatile pairs for me that I use as a closed back. So I can use them for some monitoring. I do use them for some casual listening as well because yeah, the bass there is pretty substantial in the mix, and I do use them for some gaming as well. So yeah, M40Xs, and yeah, the build quality for Audio Technica is really good for me. It's something that I can just bring in my bag. The build quality is really solid, so I can bring it around. So yeah, closed back, and also one of my favorite portable closed backs, the ESW 950s, is a wood back, really small as well, really portable, and yeah, that's one of my favorite portable headphones. Maybe I'm gonna do a review in the future, but yeah, one of my favorites. So closed back, I really like the usability. There's a lot of things that you can use with that. Downsides of closed back is it's not the most comfortable because your ears will warm up after some time, especially for big ones. The one that covers the whole ear, it can give you some warmth after some time, and you need to adjust them from time to time. And also the downside for closed back as well is it's not that comfortable to wear because it depends on the headphone that you're listening to. But usually for like some closed backs, it's on top of the ear design, so it doesn't cover your ear, and sometimes it can be uncomfortable to listen to. Like for example, my M60Xs, it's not the most comfortable pair because it does kind of edge out my ears a bit. So yeah, the comfort is not the best. I would still give the comfort to open bags in that regard. Yeah, it will depend on the headphone, of course. It's a case to case basis, but I'm just trying to generalize things. Yeah, that's why this is a long discussion because there's a lot of nuances here. Like for closed back, you have several types of closed back, but I'm just generalizing. Yeah, the comfort is not the best for closed back. I would still give it to the open backs in general. So yeah, but I would say yeah, closed back really cool in the usability. There's a lot of usages for it. Clip-ons. Going to clip-ons. So now it gets smaller. The downsides with closed back and open back headphones is it's still big. So the if you bring it outside, it's still gonna be in a big bag. And it's still gonna have that band at the top, and that will still be big in your bag. So there's some when I bring my closed bag or open bag, I usually bring a backpack just to fit everything in. And usually when I bring my closed bag and open bags, I do bring an amplifier with me as well because sometimes some of them are pretty hard to drive, or not just the drivability, but you want to put an amplifier in front just to make the sound better because some are requires more power to drive and to drive them properly as well. But for clip-ons, now we get smaller. So the clip-ons can fit in a small bag, in a pouch, and it's still a headphone design. It's still a headphone, driver on the ear. Not as big as your closed back or open back, but it's still a big driver, a headphone driver, and that has a lot of advantages. Of course, you're getting still a bigger sound on the ear, a bigger driver on the ear. So yeah, usually there's some advantages there, of course. The soundstage is still a headphone soundstage, and yet the sound is still a headphone kind of sound. So it's still a different sound on the ear, and it's something that you can bring outside and easily as well because there's no band that you're gonna carry around, and you can just put it in a small pouch, maybe even a similar size to your IEMs or earbuds in terms of the size of the pouch that you're carrying the clip-ons. So yeah, definitely, yeah, clip-ons is the middle line. So that's why I really like it because again, the versatility is there. The versatility of carrying it around, having a headphone sound. Yeah, for example, your COS on KC75s. I did a video of that. 5 reasons why I love my COS KC75s because yeah, they're giving you headphone sound, but now in a smaller package. And having clip-ons as well, it's really stable on the ear. So even if you do some more extraneous activities, not really for exercising, but more extraneous activities, if you move around, it will stay still on your ear compared to maybe headphones. Headphones, the problem with headphones if you make them, if you increase the clamping force. I do have some headphones with increased clamping force. It's not that comfortable to listen to. So for those headphones that have increased clamping force, I actually put them on a box and make them stay there to make the fit a little bit less clamped on the ear. So I don't really have headphone now that's really stable on the ear. But for clip-on, since it hugs your ear, there's a clip on your ear. It will be more stable to put on your ear. So yeah, the stability is definitely there. So for portability, that's definitely an advantage, especially if you're commuting. The clip-ons might stay on your ear better than your headphones or open bags. Downsides of clip-ons is, yeah, I mean that's the unfortunate thing. The choices for clip-ons is not that big. So yeah, I wasn't able to find a clip on that maybe is a mixing pair or something that I can use for recording. So I can only find clip-ons that is more of a casual listening pair. So that's one downside. So hopefully in the future, because I really love clip-ons, hopefully in the future, the brands will make a more clip-ons. So hopefully it grows. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna cover more clip-ons and maybe talk about it more, and maybe it might get the attention of brands to make more clip-ons. But yeah, the choices of clip-ons is not that big yet. And also just the sound on the ear, clip-ons, it's still, I would say, less than your closed back and open back in general because yeah, the closed back and open back, the choices there are extraordinary. You have $2,000, $3,000 closed back open bags, so the choices there is really big. And yeah, for clip-ons, yeah, the sound is still, I would say, less compared to your closed back and open back, from my collection, anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you can maybe mod the KC75 or a clip-on to have maybe a $2,000 sound or $3,000 sound. Maybe some people can do that, but for now, I haven't seen it yet, and I haven't tried it yet. So yeah, the sound won't be equal to your usual closed back and open back. And also in terms of the um, comfort as well, it's not the most comfortable because you do have a clip on your ear. So yeah, it's fairly comfortable. I mean, you can wear it for a long listening session, but it won't be as comfortable as maybe your open backs or even your earbuds or IEMs. So yeah, I mean, it will be a subjective kind of thing, of course. I'm pretty sure some of you guys, wear clip-ons for 8 hours, whatever. But yeah, in general, because of that clip, it won't be the most comfortable. Maybe you can even do some mods, make the clip a little bit loose, just to not clip on your ear that much. So it will kind of depend on you. Like for me, the most comfortable clip-on that I have is the Audio Technica EM7Xs. It's the silver one. It looks really nice as well. It's the most comfortable pair that I have. Definitely more comfortable compared to the KC75s, but still the comfort is not equal to maybe your bigger headphones. So that's one downside. But another advantage with clip-ons is it's not that expensive. Because you don't have a band, you're not paying for more hardware, so they are less expensive. So that's one advantage. But still, actually, my ATH EM7X is still quite pricey, but I would say not as pricey compared to your usual headphones. So that's one advantage. But yeah, clip-ons. That's clip-ons in terms of the usability. In terms of earbuds, now we're going to the smaller category. So earbuds and IEMs, I can actually put them in the same category because they're both small. So for this two, definitely it's the best in portability. This is definitely something that you can just lug around, have it in your bag all the time, because it's that small. So it's something that you can just always bring with you, and that's definitely an advantage. So the size of an IEM is maybe less than the size of one driver or a can in your maybe closed bag. So definitely the size difference is big. So yeah, it's the most portable. And actually for me, in my experience, it lasts longer for me. Because my problem with headphones in general is they have pads, and some of them have faux leather on them. Like for example, for me, my MSR7s, my Shure 8 SRH 840s, they're now bogged down. I've been using the MSR7s for 2 years maybe. Actually, don't use them that much, to be honest. The SRH 840, I use them because that's my first headphone. But yeah, after some time, the leather is already bogged down. Even if I try to take care of it as much as I can, you need to replace them. So there's no going around it. But actually, the most the better leather for me is if you're gonna buy real leather. So I do have some headphones with real leather, and they do last longer. So that's one advantage. But real leather is definitely more expensive. But yeah, in general, the headphones, it will bog down faster compared to what you get with your IEMs and earbuds. So there's some things that you need to replace with your headphones. Maybe even the foams as well. Maybe even just in the KC75s, after some time you need to replace the foams because yeah, it's gonna be bogged down after some time. Compared to IM and earbuds, maybe you need to replace a tip, or yeah, in earbuds maybe you need to replace a foam cover, but it's just very cheap. So compared to your headphones, the pads will actually change maybe 3 pads now just this year. I think yeah. My ANC, I changed pads there. In actually two ANCs, I changed the pads, and one headphone, I changed the pads because they're bogged down. So actually now, because I do have a headphone collection, I try to go to velour pads now just to lessen the change of pads for me. But yeah, just for some headphones because yeah, I don't really like to buy stuff, just maintenance thing. It costs more. to go with headphones. But for IEMs and earbuds, the advantage is, yeah, you don't need to change that much. Like for example, my Shure, it's been with me for 4 years. Yeah, the cable is a bit oxidized. Color changes, but it's still usable. It's not unusable. So I didn't even change the tips on that. So you need to clean it up, of course, but not compared to maybe headphones that the leather would bog down after some time. So that's one advantage of IEMs in earbuds. The longevity is definitely there, and the price also. So the price, it's cheaper compared to your usual headphone counterpart. So, and even now, of course, in 2021, when I started IEMs, there's not that much choices compared to what we have now. Now it's really crazy and it's really fun because there's a lot of choices compared to what we had before. So now the prices are even getting, the value is even getting better and better. So that's what I'm seeing now in 2021. The sound is getting better for the money, even better for the money. So the sub 30, you might see even more IEMs with better and better sound in that price range. So definitely the value for IEMs and earbuds is really great for me, for the price that you're paying for, of course. And definitely, yeah, for portability, you can bring it anywhere. So yeah, it's just something that you can have in your bag. So in terms of the usability, there's a lot of usage for it, like for me. So you can use it for some mixing, some casual listening, critical listening, monitoring, because it's really small. So the usability for me for IEMs, it's the best for me in terms of the usability. You can use it in everything that you can use all the gears in. Actually, more so compared to earbuds. That's the main difference between IEMs and earbuds now. Because for IEMs, it's a closed scenario. For earbuds, it's an open scenario. So I mean, you can still use it for maybe casual listening outside coffee shops, but you can hear the outside noise. It doesn't seal that much. So it's not the best in isolation. When you're gonna do some monitoring, you cannot do it in earbuds because it's an open design. Sure, you can do it, but it's not the best way to go about it. Especially if you're gonna jam with the band, live jam. You can hear other people if you use earbuds. For IEMs, you can it's because it seals on your ear. You can still use it for some monitoring, jamming, critical listening, casual listening. So the usability for IEMs for me right now, it's the best. So that's why I can see that there's more and more people getting into the IEM hobby. And what's nice with IEMs as well is you have that hooks and it's really stable on the ear. So I would say in terms of the stability, it is more stable compared to your clip-ons. Definitely more stable compared to your earbuds as well. More stable compared to your clip-ons because you have the hook than what you have with the clip-ons, and you still have that sealing of the IEM inside. So yeah, I would say in terms of the stability, IEM is the best. So major advantage. Earbuds though, you have an open sound with an earbud. So usually the sound stages can be a bit wider. Comfort might be a bit better in the earbuds actually. So might be the best comfort compared to IEMs. Because for earbuds, actually might be the best comfort in all of these because earbuds is an open design, so there's no warmth. It also is a small thing that you put on your ear, and also it's an open design as well, so it's not that heavy as well on the ear. So it even for a long listening session, you won't feel earbuds that much. So that's one advantage of earbuds. Definitely the comfort is there. And I would say more so compared to open bags because open bags, you still have a big thing on your head. So there's still some weight on your ear. Compared to earbuds, it's the smallest thing and it's still an open design. It's not the best stability though, so that's one downside. But I would say overall in terms of the fit, it's one of the better ones for comfort. But IEM is the best for me in usability. It covers all the grounds. For my personal usage, I use it in everything, so that's why I kind of like it now. And actually use IEMs now more so compared to headphones because it's portable. And right now, I'm living a more portable life and or a more on the go life or more mobile life. And I usually bring smaller and smaller bags now compared to before. I usually bring an amplifier, a big headphone, an ANC. I bring several, but now I'm trying to go lighter. So maybe that's just a 2021 me. I try to go to a mobile lifestyle. That's why I use more IMs now more, and convenience now more. Even TWSs, I use them more now. Like I use them for monitoring. When I am also doing some content as well, I use them for some monitoring, for some editing. Because yeah, when I'm doing some sound test, I need to listen to them in an IEM as well, so I use them for that. Some critical listening as well. So yeah, the advantage of IEMs is because it's a closed kind of thing, so you don't hear outside noise. And yeah, maybe for me, in terms of the listening experience, I'm now experienced more now in IEMs. So when I'm doing some mixing, I already know the sound that I'm looking for. So I use them for mixing as well. And yeah, I use them in everything. And what's nice about that is I can just always have them in my bag. So there's that. Earbuds, I'm still getting into earbuds now. So like for me, it's just for a casual listening thing for me. So I don't use them that much in other things. But I'm pretty sure some of you guys use it for other things as well. But for me, it's more of a casual listening thing. And if it's I'm listening for like a background kind of thing. If I'm working, earbuds is pretty good because it's the best in comfort. So that's where I use them for casual listening. Clip-ons is kind of like IEMs for me. So they're a mobile kind of thing. So if I want to change up my IEM and I still want to be portable, I use clip-ons because they do look really cool. So the same as IEMs, I still use them for some casual listening, but I do use them in coffee shops and also maybe an office kind of thing. But yeah, more for casual listening. But yeah, closed backs and open backs, I already discussed them. But yeah, for closed backs, versatile as well, and open backs for at home listening. But yeah, for me, like right now, IEMs is the most used for me. Moving to the sound. So it's been 30 minutes and I just talk about the usability. But yeah, hopefully that kind of helps you out, guys, because some of you guys may be considering, what to go with. And it's quite confusing because, frankly speaking, all of them are, pros and cons. Like you can go with one and be okay with it. Depends on your usage. So sound wise, they do have, they all have drivers. They all play sound, but for me, they're really have substantial differences. Like for me, it will be okay if you have all of these in your kit, and you can still find a usability for it because they do have different sounds. So first, in terms of the sound, my favorite would be open backs. That's my favorite sound. Because you have a bigger driver on your ear, so you have a headphone sound, you have a bigger sound on the ear, and you have an open sound on the ear. And open sound is like for portable audio gear, it's like the closest thing that you can get to speakers, or maybe a live band feel, like a band playing in front of you. That's the closest way to get there. So I do like that because like for me that's what I'm trying to get at, like a live band feel. Because yeah, I'm a musician. I want to feel that the band is right there in front of me. So that's what I'm looking at. And for me, like open backs, does that the closest for me. So that's what I like. So for me, open backs is the best in sound, and they do have the most natural sound to your ear for me. So like for me, hopefully you guys can try out an open back, especially for those who's using IEMs because they're really nice still. So that's my favorite sound first. But yeah, for me, open backs have that open sound. That's the most natural thing. But the downside of open backs is it doesn't have the most substantial bass response because it's an open sound on the ear. That's where closed back comes in. So the closed back being a closed sound on the ear, the bass response is more substantial. So of course, not in all cases, but just in general, because you have a closed thing on your ear, and the bass uh, rumble can be better perceived by your ear, and you don't have outside noise as well. So that's an advantage. But yeah, it's more closed in sound, let's say. And that's definitely different. So for me, like usually closed backs have a smaller stage. For me, the open backs has bigger stage in general, but you do get better bass response. Clip-ons in terms of the sound, it's similar. It's like a closed back, open back kind of thing, because yeah, the drivers are still close to your ear. It's not like open backs where the drivers is a bit separated from your ear. It's a little bit closer to the ear, so it's like something in the middle of a closed back, open back. You still have an open sound on the ear, but it's definitely closer to your ear. So for clip-ons, even if it's maybe a open sound still, it's still not equal to open backs. And yeah, because the drivers are still close to your ear because of the clip-on design. So yeah, the perception of the stage is still not that big. So for me, it's maybe similar to closed back. Maybe the clip-ons that I have is smaller in sound stage compared to what you get to your closed backs. So yeah, I do have some closed backs that have still a big stage. But clip-ons, I would say the sound, the air going to your ear is maybe similar to open backs because it's an open design. It's not a closed thing. So yeah, it's kind of a mixture of open back and closed back, like for me. Earbuds is, yeah, a more open sound. So the sound stages usually are bigger. It's a more open sound on the ear, so you have a more natural perception to your ear. But yeah, the difference is the drivers are smaller and it's closer to your ear, so it's still a more closed in sound. Going to IEMs, because yeah, they're both in this more portable category. So the IEMs is definitely a more focused sound on the ear. So there's still big sound stages with IEMs, but of course you have smaller drivers going to your ear. And for me, yeah, it's a more focused sound still. The sound stages there still won't beat out your headphone stage. The IEMs that I've listened to, the technicalities, for me, I would say better compared to earbuds usually. So in terms of the sound quality, I do like IEMs because yeah, maybe because of that design, the focused sound on the ear, they can control the air that's going to your ear better. And yeah, in terms of the choices, IEMs have a lot of choices, more so compared to earbuds. So for me, the sound quality for me, I do like IEMs more than earbuds in general. Like for example, IEMs for me, they have more perception of micro detail. It's easier to perceive micro detail. So like for example, I do have electrostats open backs, but because of that open design and the air is more free on your ear, the air going towards your ear is not as focused compared to what you get to your earbuds with the IEMs, because the IEMs, it's closer to your ear, it's a closed system on your ear, so the air is a bit more focused. It's very hard to explain again, but yeah, the IEMs have more perception for me of micro detail. It's easier to sense the micro detail. So that's one advantage of IEMs for me over your headphones. But yeah, it's a more closed-in sound. It's a tighter sound overall as well. It's different. It's different. But yeah, the IEMs also has substantial bass response because it's a closed system. So the air going to your ear, the bass response, you can feel it better. So yeah, in terms of sound, if I'm gonna rank it in terms of my favoritism, I would say open backs would be number one. Tied with number two would be closed back and IEMs. So yeah, I do have some closed backs that are planars. I do like the sound of planars, and I have IEMs that has different drivers as well. I have planar IEMs. I would say in terms of the sound, I would put the closed back and IEMs in the same tier. And right now for earbuds and clip-ons, I would put them in the third tier. So that's my personal experience on it. So I still like open back the best, and IEMs and closed back close second. So yeah, now let's talk about which one should you get. So this is gonna be my opinion, of course, because the whole thing is my opinion. Let's start with you need to think about your usability, where you're gonna use the audio gear. So first, is this your first audio gear? Are you just gonna have one? So like for me, if you just have one, if you can just buy one, And there's some people who's like that, of course. If you can just buy one, it will be for me either a closed back or an IEM. So those two are, the most versatile for me in terms of the usability. You can use them more in more cases. You can use it for some gaming as well, even if you're outside. I'm going to the office, listening with your office mates. You can still use closed backs. Even out, yeah, when you're walking outside, it's gonna be still good sealing on your ear. So yeah, closed backs is nice. IEMs as well, similar. You can use it for office, maybe even, yeah, as I mentioned, IEMs is even more usable in more cases because it's more portable. So especially if you don't like to look like, that attention getter, because sometimes, usually when you're wearing headphones, it's big on the ear, you can get attention. If you want to be discreet, IEMs would be nice. So yeah, if you are just gonna have one, go with IEMs or closed back. That will be the most versatile, the most usable of all the group. So that's what I would suggest if it's your first thing. So yeah, if you're gonna get your second gear, maybe you can try open backs. That will be my suggestion. Open backs would be very different from your IEM or closed back sound. And for me, earbuds and clip-ons, yeah, if you want to optimize, that's an optimization thing for me. So for clip-ons, if you like a headphone sound but you like portable, go with clip-ons. And earbuds, if you like portable, again, but smaller but open sound. So yeah, the clip-ons and earbuds would be the last thing that I would get for me personally. But yeah, in the end, for me, like each of these have really, unique capabilities. Like you can just go with either. It depends on your preference. Because at the end of the day, I usually say that to you guys. It's a preference thing. Like, I'm gonna try to tell you guys my experience, but that is my experience. Your experiences may vary, and from the get-go, it might be clear to you what type of gear you want, and go with that if that's something that resonates with you. At the end of the day, it's a personal thing. Like audio for me is, yeah, really personal. It's a preference kind of thing. There's a lot of variables here. So the music that we listen to, the room that we have, do we have a treated room or not? Where we go, do we go? How noisy of a place or a coffee shop do we go to? Is the isolation that critical for you? Is the open back sound that critical for you? Is the stability of clip-ons or IEMs that critical to you? So it's a very, very preference heavy thing. Like audio, it's a very, very preference heavy thing, and we haven't even talked about the signatures. So it will depend on you. Like try to assess the usability, where you're gonna use it, and then try to ask yourself, like, from what I have mentioned, what is the best type of sound for you? Like for me, frankly, try to go with the best sound given your usability. So like for me now, I try to optimize because I do have some choices. So after a while, when you become a collector, when you have several, what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to optimize, meaning for a certain purpose, you get the best of that purpose. Like for example, the best for mixing and mastering. What are you gonna get? So like for me, the best that I have would be the DT1990. So that's what I use for my final thing. So for casual listening, you're also gonna choose the best one. So like for me, for headphones, I usually use maybe the ES950s for casual listening because yeah, the wood backs is nice. Or maybe use the Sennheisers or the my focals as well, my Illiers for casual listening. So yeah, after a while, you're gonna try to optimize. So my suggestion would be get a good start, and then after that, optimize your gear. And yeah, you're gonna try to optimize depending on scenario. And yeah, even if you have all of these, you can have or find a usage for them for sure. It will depend on you if you're gonna complete this or not. But for me, yes, even if you have all of these, it won't be an issue for you. So it'll be kind of up to you. So I guess I'm gonna try to close this. So IMs, earbuds, clip-ons, closed back, open back. So, like for me, yeah, they do have a lot of differences, substantial as well for some in some cases. But they're all nice. They do have, their pros and cons. So in the end, try to analyze where you're gonna use it, and try to choose between all of these. Trust your ears, trust your usability. Get some feedback from, like, for example, me. I'm talking about audio. Listen to what I have to say, but don't treat it as a final word. Use your analysis on it and use it as a final word. So that's my talk, for today, for audio talk. Actually, it has been 47 minutes. Maybe if I'm gonna edit this, it will be maybe 45, 40. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I wasn't able to cover everything because this is still a long discussion, and I haven't even talked about TWS or speakers as well. So that's a whole new black hole. This is just portable audio, and maybe in the future, maybe I'm gonna talk about TWS. So that's our audio talk for today. Of course, if you like the content, leave a like and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And yeah, maybe if you are listening to the podcast, maybe if it can be in a podcast, subscribe as well in the podcast for more content like this in the future. And let me know down in the comments below, what do you want me to talk about in the future? Do you need more information about these, my experience on these, on some of this kind of gears? Let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.